Alright, we are back at it with the finals of this match between D and Chykka. Of course, if you haven't seen the previous part of this, you can take a look at it on the channel. But of course, you're here, so you probably already know that D is up 2-0, just needs to win with the Yuzuriha to win the set, whereas Chykka needs to complete a reverse sweep against the Yuzuriha. So Chykka, of course, on the phone on. Did not really have the best time of it yesterday. Of course, we're going to see the turn 1 strike from Yuzu, and we're actually going to see D cross out. So right off the bat, this is very different from how we saw D handle it before. He's not sitting at range 6. Range 6 Phonon can do things if she has a... Where's this card? That's Yuzu's cards. If she has a compounding plots, she can spend 2 cards to hit for 6 damage, although Chykka looks like he will just prepare. Standing at range 6, standing at like a good range, is a pretty okay way to like mitigate some damage, because then you could just always, as D has done, respect or air dash in afterward. This is actually a strat I've done against Phonon before. It's just stand at range 8, where you know that nothing can hit, and then afterward you can move in. We're going to see Phonon strike into the respect, Assault Dive Spike mix-up. Oh my, it is not an Assault Dive Spike mix-up. Chykka playing the sweep at 8 power, which will pop the Kiri, dealing 7. Wow, that is a spicy Phonon play there. Yuzu, of course, standing at range 3 now. Her card quality is actually super good. I mean, Kiryu's a great card, only has 6 defenses, but so not great for Phonon, but as we see D perform the key charge action here, putting that Saki into gauge. I mean, that's how I use my Sakis as well, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. But yeah, unfortunately, that just means Phonon striking with an additional +2 power, and it's going to be the guidance restriction, guidance ascension. Excuse me. There are a lot of shun nouns in Phonon's kit. But the Guidance Ascension will deal 3 damage and push Yuzuriha 2. Probably used because one of the Kiris, which is the card that basically counters that, is down. And we're going to see the Swift and Deadly boost come out. This is one of the ways Yuzu deals with zoning. Advanced Retreat 2, then Strike. Now Yuzu with a range 3 mix-up. And the Tuning Satisfaction will hit first for 2, and then Phonon will take 5. I don't think Phonon is too upset about this, though. Given the fact that Phonon is now back at range 4, can now strike with +1 power, and these 3 damage moves can hit, although we're just going to see the Baroque noise come out from Phonon instead. Yuzu will prep in turn back to Phonon, who will now almost assuredly strike with +3 power. And so far, things are looking really good for Phonon. Phonon able to get the... Although, to be fair, this strike is because of this. Oh my god, things are moving too fast. I was about to say, this strike, when Yuzu has 2 gauge, you have to worry about the Kasho, which is 1-4-0-6, and wow, these guys are already going way too fast. This is going to be a 7 power Kasho. Will of course not stun the Phonon, so Phonon can return the Baroque noise to hand, but Kasho is one of those tools that you want to be watching out for as Phonon in this particular matchup, just because this is insane, right? 1-4-7-6. Is insane for the most part, and you can respond technically with the Sliding Affliction. Chykka, of course, responded with the Impulsive Frustration, which does not hit. Sorry, I feel like my mind's going a mile a minute with how fast these guys are playing. But Chykka struck with the Impulsive Frustration. Notably, the Sliding Affliction would have hit. And would have hit back for 6 damage as well. So a little bit unfortunate that Chykka went for the Impulsive over the Sliding. But looks like we have a second here, finally. Yuzuriha in the corner, so, I mean, Phonon can, in theory, backstep, but backstep means that Yuzu can just, spike in. Of course, the boost on spike being mix-up. And basically, like, this matchup, I feel like if Phonon doesn't get, like, a really good start, Yuzu can, in theory, just kind of roll Phonon over with multiple strikes in a row. And I would say 18-18 is not as good of a start as you could get as Phonon into Yuzu. So, I mean, D doing a pretty good job thus far in the early game. Has built up the 2 gauge again, and technically, if he wants to emergency second Kasho, we're going to see a strike from Phonon. This, I believe, is a +1 power strike. No, it's a +2 power strike because D key charged this assault. on his turn. So this will be +2 power strike. Let's see if Chykka goes fast or slow. D, thinking of wild swinging. Maybe we'll strike from hand. Wild swing's not terrible here on defense, actually. I mean, she has a mid speed, although that mid speed kind of sucks. Okay, we're just gonna see a block from Yuzuriha, and this is gonna be a focus from D, or sorry, focus from Chykka. So 6 power focus. Chykka will draw a card. D will mitigate all the damage by spending the Kasho from Gauge. Yuzu will probably just prepare here. If I had to guess, is there a world where... No, Yuzu would just prepare here. Phonon will strike with +2 power again. Let's see if we go fast slow. D has the second block, so perfectly okay with that. It's going to be a 5 power cross. Let's see if... I feel like D is probably okay with taking 1 damage. Moving to range 4, however, because Phonon initiated the strike, Yuzu has mix up to get to range 3 if she wants. Can also have the Swift and Deadly boost that we saw on... Yeah, etc. to move to range 2 and strike. Although range 2 is not fantastic for Yuzu. One cross did drop. So we're actually going to see the Swift and Deadly into the Wild Swing from Yuzu. And it's going to be Phonon diving over the Kiri. Both players Wild Swinging there at the end there. Which actually kind of sucks for Phonon. Now finds herself on the short side of the board. I don't know if range 2 is the correct range to Wild Swing. Range 2 is not bad, but the problem is, like, Yuzu does have a fair amount of under curve things at range 2 that aren't super guarded because she has an extra copy of Assault, basically. And she has a mid speed and over here. So I feel like range 2 is not the best place to do this strat. I feel like range 3 would probably be better for D, but... We see Chykka boosting the Baroque Noise again, +1 power, now draw a card after you may return this to your hand. Of course, was returned to hand because Kasho does not stun, like 10 turns ago. And we're going to see Yuzu boost not over yet, +0 to 1 range, clean up if you were still stunned, sustain this. Add some interesting facets, makes the wild swings that much more consistent if D wants to go for it. Now grasp hits from range 2, etc, etc. Notably, Chykka does have a +3 power strike here if he wants to take it. If anything, I feel like D would respond with a grasp here, so a +3 power slow is looking pretty good here for Chykka if he has it. The problem is Phonon doesn't really have too many good cards up close, and we've already seen a focus and a sweep go down on Phonon's side. That's one of the weaknesses of Phonon, is that especially if she's getting initiated to her defense. I mean, her defensive options aren't great just because she has a lot of pushes and stuff and such. Like, she can't even initiate with Guidance Ascension unless she wants to without her UA, and then you're just super hard telegraphing that. So that's not even an option, as we're going to see Phonon flip. Okay, so we saw this flip action yesterday. So Phonon on her turn gets guaranteed +2 power at the cost of a gauge, but can close a retreat if the turn before it was not a strike. As we see the mix-up to range 3 and Wild Swing. This is probably the more correct range for Yuzu to perform such tactics. Let's see if Phonon chooses to go on curve here. Chooses to go on curve here with the Assault. Assault into the sweeps. It's going to be a 5 power Assault into a 6 power sweep. Notably, sweep means that this boost will drop. Funnily enough, this is an after, not a cleanup, so this returns to hand and then immediately gets discarded by D. Phonon now finds herself at range 1 on her turn. Can't do the Phonon action, but gets +2 power on a strike. D now having that second gauge for Kasho for later. I don't think Kasho really applies here now. I don't think D's going to play that as a pseudo mid-speed, but for later, if we see Phonon go to range 4 through boosting or crossing or whatever option that she chooses, that's something to watch out for. Second Kasho is not live, and it's live with 6 power as well, so that's pretty much as good as it's going to get. I mean, ideally you want 7, and it's not like Yuzu has difficulty getting 7s from anywhere into Gauge. I mean, she can do it from hand into Gauge with the UA. She can do it just by striking with Kiri, which is such a reliable card. I wonder if D wins this, do I have to, like, pad out the video by just putting like a black screen for like an hour. That could be interesting. Just to like make sure that people aren't completely spoiled, right? Because if I post like a 20-minute video, people are gonna know, and we're only 10 minutes in. People are gonna know. As we see Phonon spend 3/4 in the form of the second copy of the Binding Beatitude, and something from Gage. I think it was a tuning satisfaction from Gage to retreat to range 4. Yuzu down 1 copy of Mix-Up and 1 copy of Swift, or both copies of Swift and Deadly now. So only the 1 Mix-Up left. Yuzu actually does have a quite mean Mix-Up here with Tachi and Kasho from range 4. Notably, one of both of those are down, but that's still a pretty mean mix-up. We're going to see a reading come out here from D into a strike from hand. Reading, however, whiffs, and we're going to see a hand of Sliding Affliction, Complete Servitude, Dive, and Focus. So depending on what was read, is D going for the Kasho, or is D going for the Spike-like, what's it called, Tachi? So depending on that, I mean, we could have an answer here in hand. Unfortunately, I mean, it's kind of an expensive answer. Even if we EX this Complete Servitude, it's going to only be 5 power, which is really sad. It'll be 5 power, of course, because the EX counts as a bonus. But it'd be really sad, I think. And then, on top of that, you're getting rid of your Muniels as well. Chykka taking a long time to think about this, so I'm thinking this was an ambiguous read from D. Okay, yeah, and it was Grasp that was right, actually, from Yuzu. So that, I mean, this is just a Kasho Tachi mix-up. And I think you play Dive into this. Personally. Because you get really good no, I disagree with this focus. I think you get better positioning if it is the Kasho. No, it was the Kasho. I guess from a pure 50-50 perspective is what I'm saying, is that I would rather get hit by Kasho. No, actually no, because the thing about the Spike-like is that you stay at range 4, and then Phonon can, in theory, initiate afterward with +2 power. So if Chykka has a good card here that he's drawn, I do expect him to read something and then strike with said good card. Notably, Phonon's UA does not allow for her to advance or retreat 1. It's a close or retreat 1, so Phonon's kind of stuck in the corner here. D, of course, being super aggressive here on the Yuzu. Life totals are fairly even, but a lot of Phonon's stuff left doesn't really work at range 1. I mean, there's 2 Grasps in here. Is there a world where Phonon spends a bunch of force to move to the other side of the board? Like move to range 4, even range 5? I think there could be. You can't really move to range 5, though, because then you kind of put yourself at risk of getting hit by offensive Saki. But I feel like moving to range 4, crossing over the board, moving to the long side of the board definitely makes sense here for Chykka. I mean, these Complete Servitudes, they aren't doing a whole lot. Maybe you keep 1 and spend a bunch of gauge. Get rid of the Dive as well. Get rid of the no normal in your hand. I think even if Chykka has drawn Respect here, you do that. Just because Respect doesn't move you far enough. Are we seeing this as a reading, or are we seeing this as a move action? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hopefully. I'd like to see Chykka move 5. Moving 6, okay. So, saying, okay, I'm okay getting hit by Itachi here, or... Unfortunately, would Chykka have an answer to Itachi in his hand if he moves 6? Because he is breaking up the EX Complete Servitude, which is an answer to Itachi. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, spending 6 force to move to the other side of the board. Looks like. Yep, so now at range 5, saying I'm completely okay against Tachi. As we're going to see, Yuzu spend 2 force in the form of the Kasho to move forward, so now Photon can strike from range 4 with this action. Both Kashos are down, so we don't have to worry about this. EX Spike, like, I gotta remember these names. It's that, yeah, Tachi, okay. All these names sound, yeah, I'm not the best with them. So yeah, Photon gonna spend that action, move to range 4, I'm assuming. And then strike. We know that the sliding affliction is in hand. I wonder if he's just like, I mean, he's striking with that if he's, unless he's drawn something better. But the problem is he's dropped both. Has he dropped both impulsive frustrations? Maybe he's only dropped one. It's gonna be the focus response, and it's gonna be the sliding affliction. So it's gonna be a 5 power sliding affliction. Yuzu will take 3 damage due to the focus. Will not be pushed. However, Photon will gain advantage off it. Six power means that a Muniel reveal seems pretty good here into a strike if Phonon has it. I mean, you don't even need Muniel just because you have guaranteed +2 power, which works in a lot of cases as well. We are at range 4, however. Phonon has a good amount of cards left in her deck. Yuzu significantly less. And yeah, here's going to be the Muniel. We're going to be revealing 5 and striking. Notably, Chykka could have struck with this spike, but the spike doesn't hit, so. So this card has 5 printed power, and now we're taking it back. I hope we're not taking it back, because now there's a known spike in Phonon's hand. I mean, Chykka should really group and then reshuffle. I mean, we're not striking with Spike here, right? In what world are we striking with Spike? Pretty much none of them. So we're just striking with a 5 power something. Due to complete servitude. Or sorry, due to Muniel. The only thing that makes sense is like a suppressive here. Suppressive makes sense. In theory, it could be like an impulsive or a second sliding, but this feels like a suppressive to me. Of course, getting the most value out of the Muniel, because you could just spend a gauge to make impulsive and sliding 5 power. We're going to see the Assault. Assault's a pretty good wild swing, so Assault's going to move in first, deal no damage, of course. I don't know why. Move into range 2 is what I meant to say. And then the suppressive restriction will push or pull X, where X is this card's power, so it will be push or pulling 5. Usually going to the corner, Phonon will draw 2 cards as well. Yuzu down to 1 HP. Probably just has to prep. Probably has to reshuffle, actually. Down both blocks and a focus as well. And a Kiri. Phonon cannot strike from range 7 in... Wait, Phonon can strike from range 7 if it's second restriction. But yeah, we're going to see the reshuffle action come out from D. Back to Phonon here. Range 7 means you strike with suppressive if you have it and prep if you don't. Or reshuffle, okay. Reshuffle from Phonon also makes sense. Get those range 1 options back in the deck as well, the focus and the sweeps. D will prepare at range 7. Phonon, I expect to also prepare at range 7. So like once you start building cards, you can do stuff with, especially if you have multiple compounding plots. There are ways to hit from range 7 as Phonon. But this is a strategy that I like to employ sometimes, especially against Phonon that's a lot of hands. I think I am sort of alluded to this before, if not outright saying it, but yeah. Okay, so Phonon actually getting rid of the known spike to CC1, drawing 2. Back to Yuzu here. It's basically, as the anti-Phonon player, you have to decide on the right turn to spend a good amount of force to move in. Yuzu opting for the Wild Swing here, interestingly enough. Obviously nothing hits, but I mean, Yuzu hoping for a potential advance option here from the Wild Swing, but you can't advance too much with Dive. Phonon responding with Grasp. Oh, it's a block from Yuzu. So now is even more threatened by the compounding plots mix-up. Steve, of course, will Wild Swing again. Chykka expending cards from hand so that he doesn't accidentally advance forward into Yuzu, I'm assuming. Wild Swing also means that Phonon won't get her Phonon action of closing or retreating one before setting your attack. So this actually makes good sense here from D. Will Phonon throw another dead card from hand, or will she start Wild Swinging as well? I guess is the question. Is there a world where Phonon actually throws like an assault here? Okay, Yuzu advances 2 to range 5, so this is going to be a good time for Phonon to be able to strike here. Both Impulsive and Sliding Affliction will hit from this range. Assault's probably the worst Wild Swing you could have gotten as Yuzu, because I mean you're at range 5 now. What are you going to respond with? Are you actually unironically going to respond with a 3-5-7-1? I don't think so. If Phonon has drawn a Sliding or an Impulsive and D does not have a block, this game's over. Actually, no, the game's not over. Technically, D could cross again. Then we'd be back at range 7. But Assault's definitely not the card you want to see as Yuzu. You want to continue maintaining this range 7, I think, until you find the appropriate time to move in. Until you craft the appropriate hand to move in, more precisely. Okay, Chykka looking like he's striking with a card. With +2 power on it. D with the Wild Swing. After advance 3 will not work. And moves right into the Impulsive Frustration. That's going to be game 3 going to Chykka's Phonon. We got, it's not over yet. Chykka now going for the reverse sweep over D's Yuzu. D actually told me a little bit beforehand that he's not the most familiar with Yuzu as a character. But I told him that hopefully Yuzu's just raw numbers will carry him. We can take a look at Yuzu's kit now. We've got an Assault like here. We've got a very good mid speed, but also an incredible boost in Unsheath. But this is a very good mid speed as well. This, I mean, when you play this right, this is a 1-3, 8-4 hit, advance or retreat 8. So that's pretty good. It looks like these guys are just having post game chat. We have a Super Spike here in Tachi, 2-4, 5-3-5. We have a useless card here, 3-5-7-1. If you set this from engaged on immunity, useless like maybe 98% of the time, maybe 2% of the time this is useful, but its range is 3-5, right? So you can always dive past it, and if you're not max range, you can also assault past it. So. Sorry, I got distracted by the old phone there. And of course we have Kiri, which is super focus. Can do less damage. It's a super focus that really loses to sweep, and loses to sweep really hard. Looks like these guys are selected their character, but I think we have a couple minutes to look at the rest of the kit. Casho is an insanely reliable ultra. Also, like, randomly dodges a lot of stuff. Will often hit for 7 if you're doing it right. Actually, should hit for 6 or 7 if you're doing it right. And then Inochi Kurenai is it's I wouldn't put it in weirdo trick shot realm territory, but it's not great. Ain't so lost. I mean, Swift is a good boost. Swift is a good. We'll leave it at that. Swift is a good boost. Anyway, looks like we're gonna see Yuzuriha into Chykka's hide. I believe this is the first time we're actually seeing hide in tournament, in this tournament in general. I don't think anyone's picked hide. We can take a look at the kit right now. So we have super dodge here. This card's insane. This card will dodge anything except sweep at range 1. Will actually just dodge anything except sweep at range 1. Double jump, good boost as well. We have red clad Craver. So hide has a non-standard deck comp. He has 3 copies of red clad Craver. Say that 5 times fast. Really pathetic card when there's only 1 copy, but when it's EX'd, it becomes a 1/2 5/8. Looks like the game's about to start. We've Fireball here that gains advantage at range 4. We'll go quick. This card's insane. This card's dumb. I don't like this card at all existing. Ace Tech, ignore guard before close 3. Palebringer's just, don't like that card at all. Shadow Scares, whatever. It's not, overpower's a good boost, I guess. Gyro Vortex is on curve. Range 3, and refunds itself. And Dead Set Days really beats fast, but really struggles against slows. Okay, there's your kit. It looks like we're going to see the turn 1 Air Dash from Yuzuriha. Moving to range 1, let's take a look at Hide. Frontside UA. On frontside, he has a little bit of movement. Normally cannot advance with it. It's only a close. It's movement into a key charge for the most part. You're not striking with cards from your hand face up. That's just bad in nearly every case. Yuzuriha moving to range 1 here with the Air Dash. Of course, we have Season 6 boosts, and we're going to see Hide with the Hide action, retreat 1, and then puts the Pizza into Gauge. Black Order, 3644. Pretty substandard Fireball until you look at the movement on it. The after movement's pretty good, and then the fact that it gains advantage on range 4 actually is relatively important. So, I mean, not the best looking stat line, right? 3644, it's pretty underwhelming. Especially if we look at compared to like Ryu and Ken, but the hit gain 4, the hit range 4 advantage, and the after movements can be quite good. But Hide taking a step back to range 2. As we said, range 2 is a little bit of like I don't want to claim range 2 is a little bit of a blind spot for the character, but the character doesn't have the best performing specials at range 2 if we look at the kit, right? I mean, this is on curve at range 2, but needs Gauge. But Yuzu, I think, prefers to maybe take a step back. As we see D key charge the Kiri. That's interesting, actually. I feel like Kiri is a quite good combat card, but maybe D valuing to put the 7 in the Gauge for future Cashos, if I had to guess. Back to Hide here. And of course, Hide backside UA is that he can spend a Gauge to strike with a card from his Gauge face up, and when he does so, his attack has +3 power. So basically turns into an on-curve monster. Unfortunately, it gets countered. I feel like that UA actually gets kind of countered by Casho in a lot of cases, but maybe not. Basically, he can craft disgustingly high power shapes on backside that are face up. We're going to see the mix-up come out from Hide. Probably step back. Yeah, step back to range 3. Step back to range 3 EX Strike. The main threat here is that Palebringer. 1/5/5, ignore guard. D just gonna wild swing. On curve is probably not gonna do it. It's actually EX dive, interestingly enough. So Yuzu will take 6 damage, and Hide will move to the long side of the board. Well, actually take center, not move to the long side of the board quite yet. But leaving Yuzu on the short side. Now we're gonna see D perform a mix-up of his own, except he's gonna stay at range 1 and then threaten like EX sweep. No Kiri. I'm assuming this is EX sweep. Don't see any reason to EX Grasp this aggressively so early. It is the EX Grasp. Gets called out by the focus. Wow. Okay, I guess I was just wrong on that read there. D takes... Chykka first will take 2 damage off the EX Grasp, and then D will take 3 back off the focus. Hide will now just simply prepare. Back to Yuzu here. Really aggressive gameplay from Yuzu so far. Like, initiating with the EX Grasp even. It's a little bit of a spicy mix up there from Yuzu. I expect Yuzu to prep here. No, we're actually going to see... Wow, we're going to see Swift and Deadly Wild Swing. Back to range 3, which, like I said, I feel like this is Yuzu's probably best range to... So D and I were talking about this earlier, whether D was actually going to employ like a Wild Swing tactics on Yuzuriha. And it looks like D's going for it. And I think range 3 is probably the best place to do it. Of course, Hyde has a vacant shift to kind of no-sell everything. Hyde moving back to range 6 off the cross, which will, of course, make the Itachi not hit. Range 6, of course, second pizza, if that's available for Hyde, will hit. Wonder if Hyde even chooses to exceed at this point just to threaten the pizza. Force Yuzu to move in. Or force Yuzu to even cross out. Or spend 2 gauge in the form of Casho. I mean, Yuzu does have ways to dodge the pizza. But exceeding here from Hyde doesn't seem terrible. Fortunately, one Veil Off has been used. However, if we look at this boost here, Void Red, exceed and add this to your gauge and take another action. So Hyde can, in theory, if the Void Red is in hand, just strike with a 7 damage pizza here. Which is not looking too bad. No, we're actually just going to see the Hyde shuffle. And we're going to see a face-up strike of Black Orbiter. And it is going to be dodged by the Casho. He's saying, okay, I will spend the 2 gauge here to not take 4 damage. Interestingly enough, Hyde does have an after, may choose to step back to range 3. Nope, choose to stay at range 1. We see a range 1 strike here, focus into sweep. Good wild swing there from Chykka. 4 for 4. Notably, D gets a free card here because there's no card to discard to... No cards in his hand to discard beforehand. Excuse me, I feel like I'm really tripping up over my words today. I apologize for that. But this match is going really, really quickly, especially by Chykka standards, so... A lot of action happening here. Anyway, we are at range 1 here. It is now back to Hyde. Yuzuriha with only 1 card in hand. Hyde with 4. Hyde will be boosting Power Attack. Classic Season 3 boost. I don't see this boost super often, just because EX Palebringer is OP, but... As D checking out Yuzuriha's backside. Yuzu, of course, having the random mechanics on backside, strike with a random card from Gage. Finally, we see a prepare action from D. Bolstering his hand up to 3 cards. Now, back to Hyde. I'm assuming Hyde will strike here with the +1 power. Notably, one thing that I forgot to mention, the use of EX Grasp makes this card way worse. Makes the Dead Set Days way worse. And you're never going to be putting a Dead Set Days face down onto an EX on defense. So, D possibly neutralizing this, although Indulgence of Installation is still a pretty good boost, I will say. So it's not like Dead Set Days is a completely useless card, but... Hyde will take a step back and pop an Assault into Gage. Back to Yuzu here. Yuzu checking the discards like she's going to perform a reading. Will perform a reading. Reading will whiff. This is a really aggressive reading. This is like a Zane reading here. We see a hand of 1/3 Gyro, Red Clap Craver. So it's not like this is a good reading either. Or it's not like this is a good hand to respond with either. I'm assuming D just read Grasp again. Yep. So D just reading the Grasp again. I mean, you can... It's just that Gyro Vortex, it's not the undercurve option that you want. Red Clap Craver misses. Spike is very risky. Focus is kind of safe, but you gotta remember that Yuzu has 2 mid speeds that can deal with that, and over here, and of course the second spike. Wow! Chykka playing the spike on defense, beating out the focus, dealing 6 damage to Yuzu. And this game looks really bad for D. Looks really, really bad for D. Yuzu now left with only one card in hand. Does Chykka? Chykka unfortunately doesn't really have a. Chykka can, in theory, void red, strike with the assault. It's a little bit undercurved, but Yuzu only has one card in hand. It's gonna be a 7-power assault, and yeah, we are gonna see that come out. So we'll take a look. Hide backside action. We described it before. Strike with a card from your gauge face up. Your attack is +3 power and clean up seal your attack. And yeah, we're gonna see it come out right here. We're striking with a 7-power assault. D does not have the answer to that. Chykka will now flip his assault face down. You know, Chykka and I do probably want something better. When you probably want a high roll here. If I had to guess, yeah, D gonna try to find something better. Sweep gets popped. D takes 7, and this is looking very good for Chykka. Up 20 life. Has advantage as well. Is there a world where you just swing with the focus, or swing with the sweep, and just say, okay, deal with this. You only have one card in your hand. Yeah, probably swing with the focus over the sweep. Honestly, probably swing with the focus over the sweep. The 2-power actually does not matter. No, actually, we're gonna see a little bit more of a defensive play from Chykka. It's gonna be change cards 4, drawing 5. I think striking with focus there is totally fine. We're gonna see the Iris Blade add up to the top 2 cards add up to the top 2 cards. I thought it was add 2 cards. Okay, add up to the top 2 cards from the top of your deck to your gauge. If you have 4 or more after this, exceed. I mean, the game state hasn't changed at all. It's just that really, the dive is gone now to counter the second copy of dive now down from Yuzu to counter like a sweep. I wonder if Hide will just go for it. 13 cards left in Yuzu. 13 cards left in Yuzu's deck. 2 crosses. But if Yuzu crosses out, are you really that sad? You have a pizza ready to go. Looks like we're gonna see a change cards 3, dropping both blocks and a grasp to draw 4. Chykka clearly unhappy with his hand. I wonder why we didn't see Chykka drop the grasp into gauge and then, as we're gonna see Yuzu exceed. So basically now Yuzu threatening one of these random cards. I really want to see Chykka drop the grasp, revert, drop the grasp into the gauge, and then flip back to threaten a 6-power grasp. I'm really shocked that he didn't do that. I wonder why. I wonder what his reasoning behind that is. It just feels like that just seems like the correct Hide play. Over a big CC like that. I guess blocks are kind of dead cards, but like also not really. They're not really so much dead as they are just stally. We're gonna see the Indulgence of Insulation, +1 power, +1 speed. Now strike, good boost, good boost. Are we threatening perhaps a 1/6/7 vacant shift? I guess Chykka just wanted to go for this kind of play instead. We're threatening a 1/6/7 vacant shift, and yeah, that's not gonna win. We're actually threatening a 1/5/6 assault, also fine. Maybe D's down both grasps. He is down both grasps because he played EX grasp. So Chykka taking game number 4 with the Hide over the Yuzu. And we have a game 5 on our hands. It's going to be Chykka's Bang versus D's Yuzu. And yesterday things were looking really good for D, but this especially was a very dominant win for Chykka with the Hide. D, of course, thinking that maybe the left side will provide more luck for him than the right. No, we switch back to the right. How about loser picks? And yeah, we're going to see Game 5. We're going back to Season 5 with Chykka playing the Bang. into D's Yuzuriha, and let me tell you, these games have been rapid. And Yuzu taking left side of the board, probably the hypest moment of the set so far. Yuzu will obviously attempt to go first. Attempt's not the right word. Sorry, but I've been really getting my words mixed up today. But these both these games have been going so fast. Chykka playing uncharacteristically super fast here. Looks like Yuzu's keeping her hand. Take a look at Bang's kit real quick. Bang, of course, Season 5 favorite, one of the best characters in Season 5 from a tier's perspective. Bang Style Shuriken, a great reason why. Like, this card will always hit and will, like, basically always make the opponent whiff. And Instant Ninpo, also really useful. I think we saw Ashlyn, I want to say, use Instant Ninpo really well. I was really happy with the way she used it. Unstoppable Palm Thrust, just a super reliable card. EX'd on curve at range 2, as we're going to see the turn 1 Ansel loss from Yuzuriha, +1 power, +1 speed. Void Tempest Kick, it's your mid speed, but larger than life is a good boost that adds itself to gauge. PBJ, really reliable slow, does awkwardly miss at range 1, which can matter in certain cases. Like, for example, if Yuzu were to dive in, you can't respond with the Pulverizing Blast Jutsu because that would whiff. Beat an nail with your hammer, insanely good boost. For Love and Justice, insanely good boost. Hyper Shadow Step Strike is a trick shot, but when it works and is very hard to deal with. Set Nail, insanely good boost as well. This is a good character with a good kit. And we're gonna see the tech come out. Of course, we are back in Season 5, so we are back in the land of techs and lights and fierces. Back to Yuzu here. Yuzu will instead boost +2 power in the form of Try Hard. Clean up if you were stunned, sustain this. Spending the Kiri to do so. I actually don't see a lot of people spend Kiri to boost this, because Kiri is such a reliable combat card. But D's saying, okay, I'm going to be swinging for the fences here on Yuzu, clearly. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't be perpetuating narratives like that, huh? We're going to see Beat a Nail with your hammer, +1 speed, now advance 2, then strike. We're going to be changing our range, spending the assault, and then striking with a card from hand. Is this cross? We're going to see a Wild Swing come out. Sweep is a good one. Sweep's a really good one. Chykka going for the on-curve assault at 4 power. The sweep will hit back for 8, and Jesus, that is sad. That is so sad for Bang here. That sweep just is so sad for Bang. Anyway, Chykka gets advantage at range 1. Only 2 cards in hand, so I expect to see a Bang prep come out. Or regular prep. Normally Bang has a UA of, as an action, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, draw 1, discard the other, as we see Saki drop into the gauge for Yuzu with her frontside UA. I feel like I see players sometimes as Bang, prep sometimes, and then UA other times. I don't really know the method behind the madness, other than, like, if you have a low deck size and you like all your cards, then you regular prep and you Bang prep otherwise. But we saw Chykka regular prep, and now we see Chykka Bang prep, so I have no idea what the method behind the madness is. As we see second Kiri getting boosted by D, we are seeing D's strategy here. Hit hard and hope it works. Is looking like what D's playing on Yuzu, and so far it's working out pretty well. Well, I guess in the context of the 3 games it's not, but in the context of this game it is. Fierce is just a good boost, right? And it's just like Fierce and with a little bit of a bonus on it. Tell you why D actually went for the Wild Swing as well, just because, I mean, Try Hard with the cleanup on it basically does kind of incentivize you to say, like, if I can't hit, well, might as well get stunned. So, yeah. Back to Chykka here. Chykka checking his own discard. Notably, has dropped 2 of the Ultra Boosts that we were talking about. Has dropped Being a Nail with Your Hammer, and has dropped a Set Nail as well. We're see Defend come out from Chykka, +1 armor, +3 guard. Don't know why I'm explaining Defend to you guys, as we see... God, what is this art? Is Bang, like, face planting himself on his knee, while also simultaneously dabbing on the opponent by spiking them? This is interesting art. I've actually never seen that one before. And we see another aggressive reading come out from D. Reading whiffs. And we see a hand of block, EX Bang style, Infinite Chaos Fist of the Void, Ultimate, Unstoppable Palm Thrust, Polarizing Blast Jutsu. I'm assuming the reading was not on grass this time. See, what am I gonna say the reading was on? Let's say the reading was on cross. No, the reading was not on cross. So, I mean, I'm too lazy to ask them what's going on. Like, I feel like this is a more obvious reading, so maybe we can see what's going on. Probably a Casho was wanted to be played. Nope, it's just the raw assault. So clearly something like dive was red, spike was red. I have no idea. We're gonna see EX Bank style Shuriken come out. So of course, before draw 1, then you may play a boost from your hand, ignoring its cost. Such a good, reliable boost here. See Chykka draw 1. Doesn't have to play a boost. Can double jump, I guess, if he wants better positioning, but his positioning is already pretty good. Notably, this assault will get stunned, so this tryhard will stay in play. Not exactly a particularly high impact strike from Chykka either. It has to respond with EX Bang style Shuriken, which of course Bang with his backside recursion can get back. Also will get back EX Assault as well. Looks like Chykka will decline to play a boost from hand. D will take 2 total damage off the EX Bang style Shuriken. Tryhard still on the board, however. I expect to see Bang prep here. There's no reason you need to get rid of any of these cards. I mean, these cards are all good. There's a world where maybe you boost that. I don't think so, though. We're going to see Chykka opt for the regular prepare action. Now there's really no method to the madness. We've seen... Maybe he alternates between regular prep and Bang prep, or maybe he feels the deck and says, okay, these two cards, they're both good. I need them. Back to Yuzu here. Let's see if we see more aggressive Yuzu gameplay from D here. We're going to see the Just Defense. It's been a while since I've seen this boost. +3 armor, now strike after lose all armor. So we have +2 power on that as well. It's been a while since I've seen Just Defense. I feel like this boost is good. Like, it's very niche, but when it's good, it's good. Obviously, like, there's no focus in hand. Actually, focus would perform really poorly. Actually, no. So the thing is, both sweeps and both Kiris are down. Is that useful information anyway? Or is this just Casho? Looks like we're going to be responding with a single PBJ, which I feel like will get stunned. Oh, no. It's the over here, the mid speed, and this is going to be an 8 power over here. That is stunning out Bang. Or sorry, 10 power over here with the +2 power. Oh, Yuzu now gets to choose what corner to move to. PBJ. Just not good enough there with the defenses. I wonder what mid-speed Chykka read. So like normally when we see +3 armor in the mid to late game, we see D. I don't know what he's doing. When we see Just Defense in the mid to late game, especially at range 1, it's kind of like Defend, right? At range 1, so like what kind of attacks do we see with Defend? well, the quote-unquote canonical, in my mind, the canonical attack to pair with defend is Assault, which is basically functions as a mid-speed. Would beat Grasp, does beat Cross, but like beats Grasp, basically. Beats the fast option, and then trades well enough into the slow option because you get advantage afterward. So I guess the expectation with +3 armor is that we're playing mid-speeds here. Yuzu going for the big mid-speed here, and Chykka misreading that. And that was a 10 damage over here. Putting Yuzu in the corner as well, which is totally fine. At only one card. Can also even threaten the second copy of Saki, technically, which is funny. And yeah, Chykka just misreading that pretty hugely. That's a pretty costly mistake. Playing the PBJ. I'm assuming he was expecting focus from D. Both copies of Sweep and both copies of Kiri were down. So I'm assuming he was expecting focus, but not expecting the mid speed, like focus or assault, like expecting a four damage card there. So either focus or assault. Unfortunately, just got caught out by the over here. First over here we've seen D swing with in 3 games as well. So I mean that's. I don't want to bring like Yomi concepts into it, but like that's a very like Yomi thing to do. I guess D didn't really have the opportunity to strike with over here. Maybe just didn't even draw them in the first 2 games. But it's like you had to make that mid match what's the word, adjustment. That mid match adjustment. As we see the +1 speed now advance 2, then strike, beat a nail with your hammer, discarding the unstoppable palm thrust. Interesting. So now we have the range 3 mix up. Notably, both assaults are down. So we're going on curve here with the dive, or we're playing spike. I wonder if Yuzu has etc. in her hand. Does she strike with etc.? She strikes with dive, beating the sweep. Oh no! Oh, things have gone from bad to worse. I did not expect Chykka to strike with sweep there. Now we're gonna see probably a big CC. 1, 2. Yep. Just CC2 drawing 3. Keeping the over here and the sweep in the gauge, because of course Casho is such a good threat to always hold over your opponent's head. Things have gone so poorly for Chykka's Bang here. D with that patented aggression has been doing really well. We're gonna see another strike come out here from Bang. This is too much, man. Focus into focus. Both players take 2. Yuzu will definitely be happy with that. Only 6 life to Bang's name. And Chykka like falling a little bit into like D's been playing aggressive for 3 games. Really good defense, like really good like not defensive play, but like really good controlled aggression won him the hide game. But this game is going way worse as we see Yuzu now put on the brakes a little bit. A second prepare action coming out from her. Bang hasn't even built up the 4 gauge yet. So at least the good thing about this situation is that Yuzu's out of defensive options. She is out of slow defensive options. So we see the Bang prep come out. So both sweeps are down, both carries are down, 1 focus is down. This is an exploitable deck structure, in theory. I mean, it's not fantastically exploitable, but it's exploitable in theory. Void Tempest Kick, useless into this deck. As we see the Superior come out from D. And immediately teched by Chykka. So this deck structure feels a little bit exploitable. The only guarded options left in Yuzu's deck are that 1 copy of Focus and basically the Tachis of the world. See, grasping the Focus, does a Wild Swing Focus as well. That's fortuitous from Chykka. I believe that's a Wild Swing Focus. So yeah, Yuzu is basically like having to go fast here. Yuzu needs a block at some point to deal or to outspeed Casho. Remember, he's down both Bang Style Shurikens, although maybe this is the time to flip for Chykka. Although, does Chykka want to strike here? And unfortunately caught with both focuses in the gauge. So not the best looking Exceed, with especially at this range as well, right? Like, these two cards in particular, they're not great range 1 options. But maybe Chykka just has to just go for it. Chykka now checking his own discard pile. Sorry, I just had to take a swig of water there. So Bankstyle Shuriken and Assault are both options that he'd get EX of. In theory, WinCon could be he chains readings, but I don't think D allows him to do that. I think D's too good of a player to get chained by reading. Is the only thing stopping Bang from exceeding right now is the fact that he's a strike? Because we saw Bang have to Wild Swing a focus last turn. Are we going to see it? We're going to see the Exceed come out from Bang. So we'll take a look at why this Exceed's so good. Take a look at that Overdrive ability. We see Strike from hand. Take a look at that Overdrive ability. Return all copies of the discard pile of the discarded card from your discard pile to your hand. So just free recursion. And free EX recursion as well. It's actually insane. We see D taking a look at the discard here. I wonder if D's gonna swing with a Casho here. D swings with Tachi, trying to catch out a cross. That's cute. Is that too cute? As we see the over here immediately boosted. Grasp, Focus, over here, and Sweep are the 4 options of the Unsheath. We'll take a look at this boost here. Strike with a random card from engaged face up. The opponent sets their attack first. So Dive has a 50% chance of not dying. Block, of course, has a 100% chance of not dying. And, well, we were talking about RNG earlier today. This is pure RNG. This is pure playing the numbers. So we have a fast, a mid speed, and 2 slows. Cross will... EX Cross actually performs really well. There is the EX Cross. EX Cross will never die. And the 25% chance works out for D. And, well, there you go. That's Exceed for you. Can't wait to start another... I was about to say, should I put in the chat, can't wait to start another day-long discussion about this? Nah. I mean, there you go. That's Bang playing the correct option and then losing 25% of the time. Such as Exceed. Chykka... It's now Chykka's turn, at least. At range... I mean... Listen, if this cross hits, Bang, Loki probably wins the game. Has the EX Bankstyle Shuriken on deck. Actually, no, I don't want to make that claim. No, that's not a good claim to make. I apologize. That's not a good claim to make. But like Bang is not like super unfavored to win now. I wonder why Bang spends EX Cross over regular cross there. Oh, Bang spends EX Cross over regular cross there so he doesn't die. Duh. Yeah, sorry. I feel like I mentioned that earlier, but forgot about it. Anyway, EX Bankstyle Shuriken returning to the hand of Bang. Yeah, sometimes you just play the odds and you get screwed. That's why I don't like the Wild Swing stuff either, but we're not going to talk about that. Like, it's just unfun. Like, it's unfun to me. It's uninteresting gameplay. But let's not harp on that too much. Like, it does get mitigated over time with after you play hundreds of games, but it's just kind of eh. You see the double jump come out from Chykka. Advance 3, if you advance past the opponent in this way. Advance or retreat 1, then draw 1. Let's see if Chykka goes to range 4 or range 2 with this. Yep, notably, Chykka cannot stay at range 3. You gotta go, and you can't stay here. What's that saying? We're gonna see Bang move to range 2 with that EX Bang Style Shuriken in hand. Prepare action coming from Yuzu. Back to Bang, who now has to decide whether to pick up Focus or EX Assault. Notably, as we were saying before, there's one copy of Focus left in D's deck somewhere. He has 11 cards left in his deck, 3 in his hand. I have a feeling if D has his Focus in his hand, Chykka loses this game. I just have a feeling of that. So the only question is whether Bang picks up the Focus right now or the EX Assault. If he picks up the EX Assault, I feel like he's kind of obligated to play it, so maybe he doesn't pick up the EX Assault. Oh, and of course, one thing I want to point out. Earlier, when D played the Tachi, Tachi calls out both Cross and, of course, Paul calls out the Unstoppable Panthers as well. I don't think I called that out when it was played. We're going to see Chykka pick up a Focus and then play Grasp and then play Fierce on it. This is going to be almost assuredly a fast coming out from D. Just don't know which fast. Could it be... I think now it's actually probably more likely to be Casho, especially with Bang going down 1 Grasp. I don't know how many Grasps are left in this deck. I want to say 1. I want to say there's 0 Grasps in the discards. There's 1 left in the deck. I'm assuming this is just running on the assumption that D's going fast, right? We saw Bang drop EX Cross in the last combat. So Yuzu can in theory just be going slow here. And Bang with only 1 life, you can't play around here. Only 4 cards left in decks, so is there a block left? To just like completely mitigate the setup and then like try to go for a win with an advantage, with a potential advantage chain on your turn. Because like say this is Focus, right? That's the last slow option in D's deck, outside of second copy of Tachi, the Spike Like. In that world, Bang can win with an advantage chain, right? Like 6 damage assault will basically beat anything that Yuzu throws. And then... Okay, Wild Swing block into the second Grasp. And we are not done yet, folks. Notably, this makes EX Assault from Bang on this turn going to be really good. You're going to see Bang drop the Focus, of course. Because I believe there are no options to deal with EX Assault in Yuzu's deck now. If my card counting is correct, both sweeps are down. Wait, there's a Focus left. There's a Focus left. Do you take back EX Assault and just pray that there's no Focus? There's no way to get like +2 power on. There's no way to make this EX Assault crack Focus. I think as Bang, you just have to play the EX Assault here. Both Grasps are down. It's speed 6, so it's gonna win to any speed tie. There's only 1 defensive option left in the deck of Yuzu with 1 Focus. You just hope that it's not this card or the top card in the deck, and then go for it. Gain 2 advantage would be a 6 power assault, duty down to 6 HP, and then like hopefully you can figure something out from this hand. Oh, I almost rewinded time there. That was not a good idea. This game is close. This game is a lot closer than it looks from the health totals. Of course, Chykka had to Wild Swing the block there. Only had a 1 in 4. But I guess also could have had it in hand. And he has a bunch of cards in hand, so... Since Wild Swings are the topic of the day, might as well bring that up. Unfortunately, one play that I noticed was that focus was... No, there's no way. There's no way you actually read something here. You don't have to read anything. Oh, wait, are there blocks left in Yuzu's deck? Are there blocks left in Yuzu's deck? That's a defensive option I just completely ignored. I can't remember. We're going to take a look at this discard. There are 2 blocks left. Okay. Never mind. I thought there were 0 blocks left. I'm an idiot. There are 2 blocks left. D is actually way more likely to be fine than I thought he would be. I think it's Chykka you swing with the Assault here anyway. I mean, you only die to a focus, so... You go for it. Yep, here's the Assault from Chykka. Wild Swing block. There it is, folks. There it is. It's going to be 6 power Assault. Obviously, D will mitigate all the damage. 3 outs here out of the 11. So, I mean, decent-ish odds, like 20-something%. Double focus coming out from Chykka, and then he will revert. Notably cannot keep... Can he keep focus in hand? He'll get red. +1 power, +1 speed. Now strike. Notably, I feel like that Palm Thrust is the card you want to strike with, no? This Palm Thrust is almost assuredly the card you want to strike with. So it's weird to see Chykka discard that. I don't know what else he'd be striking with. He has some Banks Out Shuriken, I guess. But Chykka needs an advantage chain to win this game, no? Especially when you see D Wild Swing off the top like that. I think Unstoppable Palm Thrust is the card you want to play. To attempt to get an advantage chain. And then next turn you flip. And then... No, we're discarding the Banks Out... We're discarding the Unstoppable Palm Thrust. Okay. +1 power, +1 speed, now strike. This is really interesting to me. This is not a card that gains advantage, so now I'm really shocked as to what this is. Because I feel like your winning line as Bang would be to get advantage and then flip again. And then get advantage again with your EX Banks Out Shuriken. It's going to be a spike into a Fatal Eruption. Okay, so this line is now, forcing Yuzu to an uncomfortable range at range 4. Notably, not super uncomfortable because I believe Tachi is left. So it'll be a 6 power Fatal Eruption, push 8, close 4, draw 1. This was not a line that I actually thought of. I thought the line would be to try to, as we see Yuzu prepare. I thought the line would be try to win out with Bang advantage chain. Chykka saying, okay, my hand's not good enough for that, but better go for a more safer Fatal Eruption play. I mean, it's not even, I mean, obviously, everything loses to focus, right? So it's not necessarily safer, but it's less aggressive, right? With an advantage line chain, you basically have to hope the top 3 cards are nuts. Yuzu playing an EX. Is this EX Tachi? Were both copies left? No, I'm not going to check. I'm pretty sure it's EX Tachi. And D drawing both those off the top. Wow. Notably, you can, respond to this with Banks Out Shuriken shenanigans. That's pretty good. I believe this is just known to be the EX Spike. Oh, wait, it's EX Casho? Weird. Didn't even know that existed. Speed 7. You need a block. Good luck, Chykka. What? EX Casho has been up this entire time? PBJ, not gonna do it. D, taking the set 3-2. Notably, cannot put the Casho on top when validating, because otherwise would die. Because notably would die to the PBJ. And that'd be too funny. But no, EX Casho, taking it in the end, I didn't even know this option was up. I should have done a better job of checking. That's the one downside of Season 5 reshuffles, is that normally with any other season, you'd get 2 chances to look at the top card of your deck. Chykka only gets 1. But no, D taking it in the end, in what ended up being a relatively close game. Overall, a couple unfortunate breaks for both players, I must say. Obviously the one that will stick with me is the 25% Yuzu Unsheath play. But D wins the tournament in style, taking it to almost getting reverse swept with the Yuzu, but taking it to the final game, final combat. Should we join these guys for an interview? Yeah, let's go ahead and join these guys.
Lost 11 delta.
Do you guys mind having a chat after that exhilarating set?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We can chat.
All right, so I'm here with D and Chykka, and we are having a chat. I'm just gonna let them talk, and if I have questions, I'll intervene. Continue your conversation.
Yeah, we were talking about like the heavy swings, and I'm like, yeah, I think there was a turn he took 8 and 10, right? Like there were 2 big things, and then there's a turn that I took 6 and whiffed for 5 because I did the hard call out with the range 1 spike.
Were you calling out cross or PBJ or unstoppable? What's the other one?
Yes, both. Unstoppable palm press.
Unstoppable palm press.
I said this is probably cross or unstoppable, and then I played this.
Fair.
I was wrong. So
I mean,
8 of 8 to the face.
You had the health to attempt to make that read. I guess you were up like 17-6 or something at that point.
Yeah.
And that evidently was borne out later. But yeah, it's one of those. Man, I ate a sweep to the face unreactively. You generally want to trade with sweep at most. You really don't want to even sweeps at all.
And then
the heartbreak moment for me was when Chykka played EX Cross and you got that 25% grasp. That would have tilted me to oblivion. That would have tilted me so hard.
Welcome to Yuzu. Oh man, Yuzu and Zangief, 2 characters that I actually feel like just kind of roll dice constantly.
Mm-hmm.
They roll dice with extremely weighted odds, but they roll dice.
Yes, but yeah.
You can play lower tempo Yuzu who is guaranteed more of the time, but I've found that generally you can lean into higher tempo at a marginal risk.
Interesting.
And still get extremely punishing plays where she does 7 to 9 damage most of the time. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm filling
then I had a Nelomance 2 sweep that got completely called out by the lone dive in hand. That's pretty brutal too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was shocked that
hold on,
yes.
You lied to me.
I lied to you about what?
You said Yuzu was a wild swinger, and I could not get her wild swings to work at all.
Yeah, I lied to you. I lied to you. I lied to you. Yuzu's a wild swinger from Gage, my guy. You just didn't let me finish.
Oh, what?
You didn't let me finish. You just cut me off to play a tournament game. It's not my fault.
All right, that's fair. I guess I did have a game to get to.
And the claim I made was if there was a wild swinger, Yuzu's probably one of the more consistent ones. That was my claim.
All right.
I think she can unsheath wild swing at like range 3 and like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, unsheath wild swing's very good, I think.
Unsheath is absolutely insane. Over here is deceptively good, but unsheath is
both sides of this card are very strong in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So how did it feel making so I guess my question is to Chykka. You were down 0-2 and then you took a break, right? Like what did you make any did you have any thoughts like on adjustments to make with the phone on or right? Because obviously the first 2 games things didn't work out so well and things worked out very well for D. So
I think I just tried to keep in mind I just tried to make sure that during the game maybe I tried to keep in mind things I've learned about phone on that I didn't really apply in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of helped a little bit. Taking the move action more often to force my opponent to take the move action, which is something that
that's weird to me. That's weird to me because you did that very aggressively into the couple practice games that we had. You aggressively moved when we played together. So I was actually shocked that you didn't do it so much in the first 2 games.
Sorry, if I may interrupt briefly about the phone on game. So I have very, very little experience into Phonon. I was winging most of this. I played a little bit. I played into Ashland earlier. I completely forgot Muniel, I think it's called, is a thing. That blindsided me. That was awesome. Where I'm like, oh, I guess you can just have this power.
No, Muniel suppressive is insanely it's insanely good. Muniel suppressive.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you
Muniel's
can
nuts.
even option select it with a guidance as well.
Yeah.
To just have a 6 speed on demand. Although that's a little bit more telegraphed if you're revealing like an assault from your hand, for example. That's a little bit more telegraphed, but
yeah. Anyway, sorry. That was a cool play that I didn't see coming. I didn't know Muniel could do that. I mean, technically, I think I'd had it happen once before, but man, that's a good boost.
yes, Muniel's a good boost. Unfortunately, like that's basically like the best use of it by far that I've found. It's just Muniel into that suppressive.
Oh yeah, it gives you a 1 to 8, 6, or
Yeah,
2.
the push 6 is the brutal part of it. Yeah. Sorry, Chykka, continue.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
I don't know if it was just because of the matchups. Maybe like D plays very high tempo both, like in terms of gameplay, in terms of like play speed. Like I mean, so if it, like playing. So I don't know if like that either like put me under a kind of gameplay pressure where maybe I wasn't in the best positions to like use my move action to like actually move like in a significant way, or I just simply like it just like mentally it just like didn't like occur to me because of.
I mean, yeah, so you guys definitely played an unusual set where you guys played over the course of 2 days, right? That's not normal of a tournament set.
I think it should be more normal for folks who play hour-long games, because I cannot fathom sitting for 3+ hours playing Exceed unless I'm also like getting up and getting a snack. Like in real life, I've done this, but I've done this with.
We used to in Yomi we used to do the best of 39s. You had to win once with every character.
Yeah, but not in a sitting, right?
No, we would take occasional breaks. I think we took like 2. I think we took like 2 10-minute breaks. But Yomi games are shorter, right? So both those sets both those sets took under 6 hours.
Man, that still sounds like ages.
I mean it is. But yeah, I could definitely sympathize with you on the long sets from that front, right?
Yeah. So personally, I felt like this was the healthier option to just go cap an amount of time per session, and then we can get our games in where we are both rested and not fatigued from having just played 2 games, losing track of cards because we played 2 games of the same character on one side. It's like, wait, I saw 2 of those. No, I've seen 5 of those. 4 of them were there other games, right? Like,
right. Yeah. So you want fatigue to not be a factor into
absolutely,
into the
absolutely
set.
not.
Yes,
absolutely not.
I'm actually the opposite. I think that I actually super value, like, I think it's really cool to see kind of the evolution of mental fatigue play into a long set. But obviously I'm saying that as a spectator, right? I'm saying that as a spectator, right? Not as a competitor.
Like, I think you should be prepared for it to a limited extent, because a game can go long depending on the player, depending on the time frame. Like IRL games have time limits, and in practice online games do too. There's usually longer, but like that's about, to me, as far as it should go. I'm like, yeah, the length of a game, it's interesting how mental fatigue affects a player. I don't really want it to be like, yeah, in a best of 5 we're worried about mental fatigue, because
that's something I want to see personally.
All right.
But that's my opinion as a non-competitor in this game. So
got it. Well, run more best of 5s and you'll get to see it.
Yeah, run more best of 5s, people.
Unless people decide to schedule across multiple days. Run more real-time events. That's what'll do it.
All right. So D, after yesterday, right? After yesterday, you up 2-0. You're feeling extremely confident, I'm sure. Yuzu, you lost the first 2 games. What happened?
Oh, I had a good time.
Yeah, you had a good time.
Lost those games.
You had a good time, yeah. I mean, well, okay. I mean, you had a good time, so everyone's a winner. But the result was you lost both games, right? Sorry, let me rephrase the question. Your HP hit 0 both times. What happened?
That's absolutely true. Well, I got hit a lot, I think. Muniel happened. That was kind of cool. I don't really remember the first game all that well. I remember being like, okay, I have some windows to do some silly unreactable stuff. I'll do that. What I currently think is my biggest weakness playing Yuzu, because I'm just I hate playing the attack can't stun attack, even though it's undoubtedly
though it's so good. All right, why do you hate it?
Incredibly good.
Why do you hate it?
If I'm gonna play a fast thing, then like if I'm gonna play a fast thing that does 7-8 damage, usually 7, like. Why am I not playing this and paying the cost because I want to stun the opponent? Like, now I'll say I like playing it when I'm evading something.
Okay.
Because that's cool to me. It's like, yeah, I'm doing the fast thing so that I can get out of the way. Doing the fast thing, hitting you for a bunch of damage, and then, I guess, being in recovery frames for a minute so that the opponent comes up and hits you with whatever they want, that feels super weird to me. Like,
I
what
mean,
exactly is
at the end of the day, it is kind of like a trading tool, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, it's a slow, but
you're
but
very much guaranteed to always trade with this card, if not win.
Not strictly guaranteed, but yeah, you can often win with it. But yeah, it's
the fact that it's advanced 4 instead of advanced 3 makes it like it makes it so that I think they want you to try to evade with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like at range 1 you can throw.
Yeah, advanced 4 means the range 1 evade is very good. Yeah,
it's actually quite good, and that's what makes corner positioning actually fairly interesting. Where I think Yuzu generally wants to be dead center or corner, but not in between. And that's mostly from having played against a bunch of Yuzu. Like, I haven't played a lot of as Yuzu, but I played against her a lot now.
Really?
It's been impressed upon me that, that
Sorry, I'm saying really like we didn't have that conversation before the match started.
Well, I don't remember mentioning how much I played against, but I played, probably several dozen games against Yuzu at this point.
Interesting, okay.
And like 5-ish as, maybe a little more, maybe like 5 to 8. One of my less played characters. And 3 more today.
3 more today.
Which actually, honestly, that's the real win, right? Like, I lost the game, but I got to play another game. Although it was against Hyde. He's not super interesting. And I don't really know Hyde. I hadn't seen him much. I know he has, like, 3 unbeatable attacks at certain ranges. So
I mean, he has Ice Car, which is insane. He has...
No, he has Ignore Car. He has Ignore Car.
There you go. Good. I mean, that card is absolutely insane.
It is. That thing's nuts. He has the 1-3 8-5, which costs net 48, I think.
Gyro.
Net 1.
Gyro Vortex refunds you,
Yeah, Dead Set Days.
But the Gyro Vortex is actually, I think, better used as the Void Red, which was what you
do both.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just play Gyro Vortex. You Void Red, then you play Gyro Vortex.
I Void Red, then
you played Void Red. No, you played Void Red to Assault.
Yeah, but you still have it in your gauge.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I changed.
That boost is absolutely insane.
Plus, Love and Justice, you played at just the right time, if I recall. That was It's often hard for folks to know when exactly +1 makes a difference, especially with power. But I recall going, this is the right time to play the +1 power +2. This is the perfect time to play +1 power +2. And I sure wish you hadn't. Oh well.
Did you face any like mental? I guess again like. Shorter set overall. And you're one of the most experienced people we have, so I guess this question doesn't even matter very much. Did you experience like anything, like any mental doubts or anything with the Yuzu D? Especially losing 2 games or
having a good time.
No,
I mean the Hyde game I was there purely to go, all right, y'all said this is a wild swing, let's see what happens. And man, that did not work at all.
Because again, you didn't let me finish. I meant wild swing from gauge with unsheath.
Let's go to range 3.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. You only let me say 60% of my out of my sentence. So
it was a very bad thing to do that.
No.
And actually, like 3/4 of the way through the game, I think I was at like 7 life or something. When I was like, oh wait, if I lose this game, I have to play against Chykka's Bang. That actually scares me.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should have been trying to win this game.
Oh no. Yeah. Right. No, I mean to be fair, Chykka plays a lot of Hyde. I think.
Oh really? Okay. See, I barely seen Hyde.
I played a fair. I haven't played that much recently.
I mean, obviously, you can't really say a lot because these characters have just been released, right? But.
Well, it depends how much you play.
I think I guess in terms the amount I've played Hyde for, I feel like I've gotten a decent amount of. I spent a decent amount of like time theory crafting, like for the amount of Hyde I've played, I guess. Or, I guess my Hyde is like somewhat developed, I guess.
I don't have any more questions for you guys, so we're gonna cut the video here, and we'll chat later after the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to D for winning the tournament. No bracket or anything afterwards. This is it. Commiserations to Chykka, who still gets tied for second, so good congrats to that as well. And
remember,
good showing for both of you.
Folks, drink water, stay hydrated, it's good for you. That's what I'd like to think. I'd like to think water for this.
There we go. Thanks to water and the power of positivity. All right, guys. See you for the next one. Bye-bye.